Over in the State House across the street from where we broadcast, Senator Michael MacDonald is the Republican from Macomb Township, and he's on our AT&T line right this very moment. Welcome back to the program.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
When we talk about the restaurant owner going to jail and we try to sort through where we're going to be in the pandemic, you introduced legislation yesterday to sort of say, all right, here's where we need to be going forward. And that legislation was what? The Senate bill?
Yes, Senate Bill 257.
And what's your idea?
Well, the bill itself seeks to protect families, especially large families, many of which have been targeted by the emergency orders. When the state or the local officials take this extraordinary measure of issuing an emergency order, I think we need to think of the effect that it has on families, especially larger families. When we talk about restricting the number of people allowed to gather. So, we've seen officials restrict the number of family members who can gather, for example, at a parent's house, a sports event, restaurant. So that had an impact, I think, personally on their mental wellness during the pandemic. Families know what is best for them, and families of all sizes deserve equal treatment by their government. So my belief is that as long as workers and customers at restaurants, supporters at sporting events, and families in their homes are taking the proper steps to protect people from the virus, they shouldn't be subjected to arbitrary restrictions.
It's interesting because the old cliche in politics used to be, we don't want the government deciding what goes on in your bedroom. Now it's the kitchen we're focused on.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
What was the response to Senate Bill 0257 that would prevent the Department of Health and Human Services from preventing restaurants, for instance, splitting up large families or even at your own home?
Shockingly, I didn't hear anything negative. I kind of expected to, but I didn't. The only response that I heard was from Senator McBroom, which is it was in support because of his own situation. He has a very large family and had an experience and did a very nice speech afterward. And I thought that was, it's nice when you hear a personal story about how this has a positive impact.
Senator McBroom lives on a farm with several children. He said he took 13 kids and some adults to a restaurant, and they made them sit at different tables, and he said it wasn't very convenient. They all wanted to be together. Meanwhile, Senator Barrett, the aforementioned there, has an amendment that bans health orders from preventing someone from traveling between properties he or she may own. So maybe somebody has a cottage up north or something in the Southwest, and he says they ought to be able to go back and forth to places they own if they want to.
Yeah, as you know, Senator Barrett was the one who had this idea and presented the amendment. If you own two homes, you as the owner have every right to go to your property, and this is an amendment that I support.
What do you think of Jim Ananich, the Senate Democratic leader? And here's what he said that I found particularly haunting. He's the Democrat from Flint. He said, we don't know when the next pandemic will come, and we shouldn't hamstring future administrations just because today's Republican legislators refuse to acknowledge we're still in a pandemic.
Yeah, well, I think, we all should think that the only way the country itself works is if we do things together. That's the point of science, too, is, I have a science background, a doctoral degree, and science is about exploring data. It's about debating data. It's about having many, many, many minds come together for the good of everyone. Having one person make all decisions for everyone is it's not good. I mean, it should be obvious, right?
State Senator Michael MacDonald, Republican from Macomb Township, says that you ought to be able to visit your grandparents' house, your sister's softball game, and eat together at a restaurant, and there is no scientific basis for not allowing a family to stand together outside and watch a soccer game. And he proposed a bill in the Senate, and it passed, and it's on its way to the House. We're on the way to you this morning on radio stations across the state of Michigan and worldwide at mibigshow.com.